What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvice.com, bringing home the bacon NFL DFS video for the last showdown video that we will bring you in at least the regular season, probably for this year, but we'll see. We've got the Monday Night Football game. We've got the Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers. We've got playoff implications. We've got a team who's no longer in the playoffs, and we're going to break down the game. So if you've never been to one of these videos before, hopefully you're in for a treat. What we do is we go through the statistics through last season to this season with the teams, the player percentages in the captain spot, which position it is, just breaking down the lineups that have been built on DraftKings. After that, we'll build a couple of lineups on DraftKings, a couple of lineups on FanDuel, and a couple of lineups on Yahoo as well. So without further ado, let's check out this Monday Night Football game. So the current line is 50.5. So it's a very high over-under. Hopefully it is a shootout. Hopefully it is a great game for Monday Night Football. We've got San Francisco being a 3.5 point underdogs right now. It did open up as 5.5 point underdogs, so it's gone down a little bit. But we've got the Lions with an implied team total of 26.39. The 49ers implied team total of 24.56. So we look at that. Now let's take a look at our matchup tool real quick. Now this is how you read this matchup tool. I filtered it out to just be this game. So these are the defenses. These are the stats given up to every team allowed for rushing and then fantasy points allowed. So as you can see, we look at this. The Detroit Lions defense to the quarterback, they're bad. They're ranked 7th in the red zone. But they've given up 4 300-plus passing games. They rank 23rd out of 32 against fantasy points allowed per game at 18.6, where you can see San Francisco 4th against the quarterback, 15.7. So they've been pretty good against the quarterback. We look at the running back situation. The 49ers defense against the running back ranked 27th out of 32 in the red zone. They've given up 1,467 yards, 4 100-plus rushing games to the opposing running back. So Jahmyr Gibbs is in a great spot in this game if they utilize him the whole game. 49ers ranked 23rd against the running back out of 32, give up an average of 25.5, where the Lions rush defense has been pretty damn good, 4th out of 32, and, it's their third string running back going right now in Garendo. So, and then 4th string and then practice squad could be a mess for them. Again, anything can happen, but these are the stats that we're going with. We look at the running backs. You can see Detroit against the running back, 7 100-plus rushing games this year. They ranked 29th out of 32 against the wide receiver, or receiving yards, 29 out of 32, 39 fantasy points per game. So we're looking at Deebo Samuel. We're looking at Juwan Jennings. They're in a good spot. With the way their secondary has been and the way they're not very good against the quarterback, a Brock Purdy stack with Deebo, you could put in Juwan Jennings. It could be a pretty good game for him. And then you look at the 49ers. They are the best defense against the wide receivers right now. So Amon-Ra St. Brown's probably locked down. Jameson Williams probably locked down. So maybe you do find a little bit of value in the wide receiver because all their focus is going to be on the big guys. Let's find the third string or wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Then we look at the tight ends. They're both really good against the tight end. So we've got Laporta versus Kittle. Kittle's in a worse spot, but you see San Francisco ranks 3rd against the tight end, and Detroit ranks 1st. So very, very good. It just depends. Dump off passes to the tight end could mean something, but both of these defenses are absolutely fantastic against the tight ends. So now let's jump in and look at some statistics from last year. 84% of the winning lineups had at least one quarterback. I think a lot of people are going to be on Jared Goff. Let's look at Brock Purdy a little bit. I think you could have a quarterback situation with both of them in your lineup, but you're going to have kickers in there to make it feasible, I believe. Only 6% of the winning lineups have used all $50,000 in salary. Only 16% of the lineups have used a $200 player or less. So if you come down here and look at those $200 players, a lot of them on IR, already out. You got Keyshawn Vaughn, hasn't really done much. That's it. I wouldn't go down that far. I unless something happens throughout the day through warm-ups and walkthroughs today, I just don't think anything's going to happen that's going to warrant putting someone in $200 or less. Average salary used on DraftKings, $47,500. So now we look at stacks. They think this game's going to be semi-close with a very high over-under. A 4-2 stack is won at 44% of the time. A 3-2 or 3-3 stack is won at 36% of the time, and a 5-1 stack is only won at 21% of the time. So it really just depends on what we've got there. Could be in store, and I kind of like that. And then we look at captain percentages. 39% of the time it's been a wide receiver. So I am looking at maybe, I don't know if I want to pay up for Amon-Ra St. Brown at 15.9, but I would look at, and then Jameson Williams is even up there at 12. But a Jawan Jennings, a Deebo Samuel, I'm okay with those guys. Think that could be sneaky here. Running back, 28% of the time. We already know it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, Garindo is in there, but I don't trust him. He gets hurt. He comes in, he plays, he misses time. He does a cycle, did not play last week. Yeah, you don't know. I mean, good game against Chicago, not a good game against the Rams, got hurt, then missed last week. Doesn't have an injury, but again, he could tweak that. Them being out, maybe they give run to Vaughn, or maybe they give run to another running back here, like Taylor. Like Taylor last week, didn't do much, had 8 attempts, 24 yards last week, but he was the starter there. So you never know what's going to happen. Quarterback has been the winning MVP spot only 17% of the time. I think a lot of people are going to be on Goff. You could save 600, go with Purdy. He hasn't looked good all year, like some games this year. They've missed the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to... That's the only problem here. There's no implication for them to do well because they're already out of it. But I do like Brock Purdy as an MVP's choice, or captain, or superstar that they call on Yahoo. Only 7% of the time it's been a tight end. Both of these defenses are very good against the tight end. I don't know if that was feasible. Defense, 7% of the time. I could see a defense, but I don't know if they're MVP, but they could be in the flex. And then kicker, only 2% of the time. We have seen kickers put up some big points lately. I don't think that happens in this game. Or if it does, I think it's complemented by a ton of points as well. So, that being said, that's how you break it down a little bit. Let's build some lineups here with the thought process of using the matchup tool in our mind as well as building around. So, there's so many different directions we can go with this San Francisco offense because they're already ruled out. They missed the playoffs. They're not playing for anything. They could get some run and just keep guys a little bit healthy going into basically the offseason, which is weird to say about 49ers lately, but that's kind of where we're at. But in a great spot, let's put Jahmyr Gibbs at the top. So he is at the top. He's at 17.4. You obviously want Goff tossing it to him or handing it off. I get that. So can we get Purdy in here? Then we come down to Jawan Jennings. Now we're at 2,800. This is where it gets a little crazy. So Juszczyk could be in there. We could definitely see a little bit of him. He sometimes will get a touchdown, aka once this year, and then he just isn't utilized. He's more of a, I would rather use him in the Super Bowl for a touchdown bet than not. You do have Craig Reynolds coming in here, being RB2. Last week, 4 attempts, 18 yards, 1 reception, so he is involved in the game. Wasn't involved very much. He was expected to take a step up and operate as Detroit number 2, but didn't lead to a heavy workload over 15 games. Reynolds now, so he hasn't done a ton. You'd think he'd be a little bit more involved. At 3,000, you could get him in there, but he is above that at 2,800. So you come down here, maybe Keyshawn Vaughn is involved, but not going to do much. You got Jamar Jefferson, probably not going to do much either. So I don't think we can get both quarterbacks in here. So if we take that out, we're at 5,000. We're able to put in possibly, let's put in a Moody. Now we're at 5,100. We've got a kicker in there, but we've also got spots that we feel pretty comfortable with. So 2 Detroit, 2 San Francisco. Let's get in Deebo in there. And then we're at 2,600. Come down to Juszczyk. You could look at him. You could look at, I don't think he's going to get involved much. Yeah, he's not going to be involved. And then Allen Robinson, if you think, so he hasn't really been involved either. If you think their main guys are going to be covered, maybe their wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 could play a part. I don't know. I don't know. But if I were to look at, if we look at Tim Patrick, let's put him in there. Now we need to let's take Deebo out. And we'll have Jawan Jennings as our number 1. So we've got 6,000. So Dobbs and down. You could look at Laporta. You could leave some money. You could have Persall in there. Being in there, that's a 3-3 stack, Detroit, San Francisco. I don't mind that. So that's one lineup, one way to do it. When we build these lineups, and if you're playing Showdown, I doubt you're playing cash Showdowns. But for tournament Showdowns, let's do it. Let's get creative. Let's look at what a Brock Purdy type would look at. So 14-1, saving money from Gibbs, so you are able to get a ton of different directions there. But obviously, I want Purdy throwing it to Juwan Jennings and Debo. Then we get in Detroit. So obviously, Detroit needs some players. If their big guys are all, covered, or we don't think they're going to do well, maybe we get Persall in there as well. We'll do a 4-2 stack here. We're at 12-9. We can afford anybody. Let's get Jahmyr Gibbs in there as well. So Purdy throwing it to Samuel, Jennings, and Persall. You've got Gibbs and Patrick in there. It is a completely different lineup, tournament lineup that not a lot of people are going to be on, but I think we could be in store for one of those weird games that some of these players do absolutely go off. And let's do one more with Brock Purdy at the top. Let's have him throwing it to Jennings and Debo. Now we've got 3 spots available. Where could we go with those 3 spots? I think we could get in Patrick. Could we get in Jared Goff? Now we're at 6,700. We could go Patrick Taylor. You could. We could go Sam Laporta. I know they're very good against the tight end, but he's obviously a big pivotal role player in this lineup. We're able to do everything. The only kind of punt play here is Tim Patrick. We didn't have to do defenses here. We didn't have to do kickers here. I feel like we're in a good spot there. We've left 900 on the table. Did not use it all, but I don't mind that lineup either. So now let's move over to FanDuel. Now with FanDuel, you have one less spot, $10,000 more. The pricing's a little bit easier here. A little, I'll say. Not a ton, but just a little bit. But if you look at this, with him, MVP spot 14.5, I'm putting him at 14.5. Who could he throw it to? I think he throws it to Juwan Jennings. I think we're covered. Those are our top 2 that we really want to look at. I think people are going to be on Kittle. Not the best matchup for him, but let's see if we do put Kittle in there. We'll put him there. Come down here a little bit. Can we get in Jared Goff 15.5? If you put him at 15.5, you got 6,500. You're looking at Allen Robinson, Juszczyk, Keyshawn Vaughn, maybe Chris Conley. Hasn't done anything. That's why it's kind of hard to get both of the quarterbacks in there. But we do need to get some. So with Goff being 15.5, we save 500, get Gibbs in there. Now we're at 7,000. Brock Wright, backup tight end. Hasn't done a ton this year. Does have 2 touchdowns. You could see Sam Laporta getting covered, and then Brock Wright opens up and he gets a touchdown or 2 tonight, and it's a very usable one here. I don't mind that. It's a 3-2 stack with Purdy throwing it to Jennings and Kittle. Now, being harder to kind of looking at that price and then looking at the other prices of some of the other guys. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown's at the top. We know that. He's a very good player. But he's at 14,000. So you save a little bit of money there. And this would be, let's put Debo. Now, this one's probably out the window there, but 10,000 for your captain or MVP. I'm okay with that. We got Debo being thrown to, we got to put Brock Purdy in there. I think we could get Jahmyr Gibbs in there. Now we're at 10,200 for 2 spots. So we're looking basically at Laporta, Debo. We've already got Garendo's there, but I don't trust him enough. Tim Patrick is a sneaky one. If we put Tim Patrick in there, we could go Kittle, Jameson Williams. We cannot go Jared Goff. So if we go Kittle there, we got Purdy throwing it to Kittle and Debo. We got Tim Patrick and Jahmyr Gibbs as a lineup pick there. Now let's do Yahoo. Not a ton of you play it, but I did want to bring it to your attention. It is there. I cannot play cash games that are for real cash. I can only play free games. I did win $1 yesterday in the main slate. We killed it with our Baker Mayfield pick. If you were not in our Discord for our core picks there, you absolutely missed out. Let me know how you guys did, but it was a great day for us. So Gibbs is at the top. He's got a great matchup. Let's put him there. Let's go with Garindo. We have not gone with him. We'll see what we can kind of do here. Brock Purdy throwing it to Garindo. I don't mind. We come down. Just kind of looking. Kittle is at 25. Debo's at 21. You save a little bit of money. You have $16 now. We're looking at Lions defense, 49ers defense. You come down here. Brock Wright. Let's say Brock Wright is in a good spot here. I don't mind that. Obviously, Laporta is the number one, but Brock Wright could come in. He sometimes has those games where, they made the playoffs. They know that. Maybe they slow down and they start throwing it to some other guys, and that's kind of what the game plan looks like, and I'm okay with that. So if we go in that direction, let's get absolutely wild with this one and go Persall as our superstar. This one would obviously a lot of things have to happen, but we're able to fit everybody in here that you'd really want. You've got Goff. Now we're at $31. Jameson Williams, George Kittle you could look at. You could take out Goff, put in Jahmyr Gibbs. Now we're at $24, brings it down to Garindo, brings it down to Debo. You've got a 4-2 stack there, Jahmyr Gibbs being the only one. I don't mind that either. So it's a little bit different. It's a very boomer bust type lineup. Again, not a ton of you guys play, not a ton of you play a ton of lineups there, but we brought it to your attention. So let me know some of your favorite MVP or captain or superstar plays down below. Make sure you hit our Discord up down below as well. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you've left a comment, and you are a subscriber, we will have a giveaway. Someone will win a free week of FTA Plus. 100 likes on this video, a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And if you have not already checked out our NBA content for today, make sure you check that out. That is linked here at the end. Good luck on your last Monday Night Football of the 2024 season, which is wild. I cannot believe it's been 17 weeks with you guys. Cannot wait. We've got this week. I am out of the country for 10 days, and then we'll be back with content starting January 13th. We will be into the division series for playoffs. We will then have the conference. We'll then have a week off. Then we'll have the Super Bowl. And then once the Super Bowl is done, we will mainly focus on NBA, and we'll be ramping up MLB preparation for MLB DFS, which is wild. I cannot believe it's going to be January already. We're 2 months away from spring training. We are so close. I can taste it. We're very excited. If you've never been here with our channel during the MLB season, if you got some time, go check out our MLB playlist. Go check out the content there. Videos are about 45 minutes long a day, but we break down every single game, every single player that should make an impact in those games. So that's what I've got. Good luck with the last Monday Night Football. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace.